Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about approaches in social casework. So mainly focusing on behavior modification, crisis intervention and eclectic approach. So first we can discuss about behavior modification. Behavior modification. Behavior modification is a treatment approach which is focused on changing behavior, and this method is based on the work of B.F. Skinner, a well-known psychologist who developed the operant conditioning theory, which suggests that behavior can be modified by consequence and through reinforcement. The major goal of behavior modification is to replace undesirable behavior with acceptable one. An underlying theme is the belief that how people react to an object or event can be modified by learning, and this technique can be used in all age group and can be applied to a wide range of settings. There are certain techniques for behavioral modification. Now we can check what are the techniques using to change the behavior. So the purpose behind behavior modification is not to understand why or how a particular behavior started. Instead, it only focuses on changing the behavior, and there are various different methods used to accomplish it. So first one, positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is pairing a positive stimulus to a behavior. A good example of this is when teacher rewards a student for getting a good grade with sticker. And positive reinforcement is also often used in training dogs, and pairing a click with a good behavior and then rewarding with a treat is a positive reinforcement. And moving on to negative reinforcement, which is a second technique. Negative reinforcement is the opposite and is pairing of a behavior to the removal of a negative stimulus. Say for example, a child that thrown a tantrum because he or she doesn't want to eat vegetable and has his or her vegetable taken away would be a good example. One is punishment. So punishment is designed to weaken behavior by pairing an unpleasant stimulus to a behavior. And receiving a detention for a bad behavior is a good example of a punishment. So moving on to next technique, that is flooding. Flooding involves exposing people to fear involving object or situation intensely and rapidly. Say for example, forcing someone with a fear of snake to hold one for 10 minutes would be an example of flooding. Next one, systematic desensitization. It is a behavioral technique whereby a person is gradually exposed to an anxiety producing object, event or place while being engaged in some type of relaxation at the same time in order to reduce the symptoms of anxiety. And next one, aversion therapy. It is a type of behavioral therapy that involves repeating pairing an unwanted behavior with discomfort. Say for example, a person undergoing aversion therapy to stop smoking might receive an electrical shock every time they view an image of a cigarette. Moving on to next approach, that is crisis intervention. A crisis intervention is an immediate and short-term emergency response to a mental, emotional, physical and behavioral distress. And crisis intervention help to restore an individual's equilibrium to their biopsychological functioning and minimize the potential for long-term trauma or distress. And many crisis intervention are conducted by certified crisis intervention counselors at a hospital, clinics, social service, drug rehabilitation center or an individual's home. And crisis counseling is not intended to provide psychotherapy or similar treatment but offer a short-term intervention to help clients receive assistance, resources, stabilization and support. Before understanding what are the techniques using to solve this crisis situation, we need to know what is a crisis situation. So a crisis can refers to trauma, a natural disaster, mental illness, medical illness, victimization, grief or relationship change. A crisis can be difficult for anybody to cope with, and many times crises are recurring situation for an individual suffering from mental illness or a substance use disorder. And a person's inability to cope with crisis may present itself with the following sign. First one, hopelessness, poor concentration, irritability, conflict with others, avoiding social situation, anger, grief, denial, difficulty eating or sleeping, abusing alcohol and or other drugs, apathy, depression and anxiety. And now we can check assessment of a crisis situation. So the first stage of a crisis intervention is the assessment stage, and during this time an individual is assessed for how a crisis has affected them or their mental stage. A crisis assessment takes the form of an interview, which allows a counselor to become familiar with patient history of past crises, frequency of them, and how they have affected the individual's emotional or mental state. And there are three types of assessment that are need to be conducted in a crisis situation. So the first step of a crisis assessment is the triage assessment, in which a patient condition and appropriate treatment approaches are evaluated. And the second appropriate step is crisis assessment, in which general information regarding an individual's crisis experience is collected. And the third and final area is a social and cultural assessment, which uses systematic tool to measure an individual's level of stress, problem, situation and severity of the crisis episode. Crisis intervention procedures. There are numerous crisis intervention procedures, all of which aim to restore stabilization in people who have been affected by a crisis. A person dealing with a crisis may be severely depressed and even suicidal, so having these procedures in place help to ensure the best and fastest care possible. There are certain procedures and model for crisis intervention. So first we can check the 7-stage crisis intervention model, and it is also known as Assessment Crisis Intervention Trauma Treatment ACT model. So the 7-stage crisis intervention model is designed to be followed as a guide to resolving crisis situation and returning things to the way they were before the crisis occurred. So the 7 stages of ACT model are listed below. First one, plan and conduct a thorough biopsychological and lethality danger assessment. Second one, make psychological contract and rapidly establishing the collaborative relationship. Third one, identify the major problems including what precipitated the crisis. And fourth one, encourage an exploration of feelings and emotions. Fifth one, generate and explore alternatives and new coping strategies. Sixth one, restore functioning through implementation of an action plan. And last one, plan for follow-up and booster sessions. So now we are going to discuss third approach for today's session. First we discuss about behavioral modification, second one crisis intervention, and now we are going to discuss eclectic approach. So eclectic approach can be said to be an approach which does not have a specific set of rules or set of plan for treatment. Instead, this approach uses a range of theories and therapies that may seem suitable for helping the client in need. Eclectic counseling is a process of choosing from theories and methods that are most suitable for dealing with clients' problems. So there are certain steps in eclectic counseling. The first step is diagnosing the problem at hand. Second one, after the client describes the problem, the worker analyzes in depth the cause and effect of the problem. And third one, it is to formulate the treatment plan, which however in this case is tentative since the treatment also depends on the client and the way he or she is accepting the treatment. And fourth one, strengthening the ego. Last step, it is to address any minor problem that are associated with bigger problem so that overall changes may be brought about the client. These all are the major type of approaches in social casework. So altogether we discuss psychoanalytic approach, then psychosocial theory, problem solving model, and behavioral modification theory, crisis intervention, and last one eclectic approach. Thank you.